Then the next is the plasmapheresis. This is an effective method of treatment but only for short period. In this method, plasma is removed from a patient's body by centrifugation process and the blood cells are re-injected into the patient by suspending them in a suitable medium. So from the in this plasmapheresis method, the plasma is removed from the patient's blood by centrifugation and again the blood cells are re-injected into the patient's body by suspending them in a suitable medium. Thus removal of plasma leads to the removal of antigen and antibody complexes from the patient's body, thereby reducing the risk of autoimmunity. Then the anti-inflammatory drugs. It is seen that weakening of inflammation process reduces the effect of autoimmunity. Therefore, by blocking the integrin proteins, these are the proteins which recruit the cells at the site of inflammation and promote the inflammation. By drugs or the blockers can reduce or prevent the inflammation. One such integrin, that is the TNF, tumor necrosis factor alpha, is blocked by some drugs like Enbrel, Remicade and Humira and are widely used for the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, Crohn's disease and ankylosing spondylitis. The groups of drugs like statins, they are used widely for reducing the cholesterol level is recently shown to have an anti-inflammatory effect. It is proving good for treating multiple sclerosis and rheumatoid arthritis. Then by targeting the activated T cells, it is known that the antigen activated T helper cells are important mediators of autoimmunity. Therefore, blocking of such T helper cells will result into reduction in autoimmunity. Recent research has shown that a monoclonal antibody against the interleukin 2 receptors, which are only expressed by antigen activated T helper cells, is proving effective in animal models like rats, but the use of monoclonal antibodies is still under trial in case of the human beings and not giving the good results. Then the next is by targeting B cells. B cells, we know that they produce the antibodies and they play important role in certain autoimmune diseases such as multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, etc. Therefore, killing B cells will reduce the production of self-reactive antibodies. So, a monoclonal antibody, Rituxan, is currently approved for the treatment of B cell non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Rituxan kills the B cells by targeting the surface marker CD20. It is also proving effective for rheumatoid arthritis. Then induction of tolerance. Tolerance means elimination of self-reactive lymphocytes before their maturation. If the tolerance of an individual is induced, then autoimmune response will reduce. So one strategy is to administration of antigens orally to the patient to induce the tolerance level. This has given good results in some individuals. For example, in the treatment of multiple sclerosis, individuals were given orally the bovine myelin or oral antigen every day for a year. It is seen that the T cells after the bovine myelin is orally given, which is an oral antigen given to the patient. It was seen that the T cells become reactive for myelin basic protein MBP, which have reduced in the myelin fed individuals, thereby reducing the symptoms of multiple sclerosis. Then what is MBP? It is the protein which is present in the myelin sheath of nerve fiber against which body's T cells becomes reactive, which results into autoimmunity. Then the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, that is the AIDS. The acquired immunodeficiency syndrome AIDS was first discovered in the group of patients in the United States in 1981. Those patients were suffering from pneumonia and a rare sarcoma, that is the rare skin cancer or skin tumor. The detailed investigation showed that their cellular immune system was deficient and also a considerable decrease in the population of T cells that carry the CD4 molecule. The CD4 molecule is the protein which is found predominantly on the T lymphocytes or the helper T cells that are responsible for helper function in the immune system. AIDS is caused by the virus known as human immunodeficiency virus, HIV. HIV not only escapes from the immune system but it also attacks the acquired immune response of the patient. Then the structure of HIV. HIV belongs to family Retroviridae. It has the outer envelope. The structure of HIV or human immunodeficiency virus is that it has this virus has outer envelope which is derived from the host cell, and the envelope contains 72 external spikes. They contain 72 external spikes or the hook-like structures which are made up of the glycoproteins, that is GP120 external and GP41 transmembrane. Here GP stands for the glycoprotein and the number to the mass of protein in thousands of Daltons. So these glycoproteins serve as the viral receptor for CD4 on the host cells. So these glycoproteins which are present on the spikes, namely the GP120 and GP41, these are the external and the transmembrane glycoproteins which are present on the spikes of this virus, and these these glycoproteins, they serve as the viral receptor, and these glycoproteins, they serve as the viral receptor site for CD4 on the host cells. Within the envelope is the viral core, also called as the nucleocapsid. So inside, after just followed by the envelope, the virus shows internally to be made up of the nucleocapsid, which includes two layers of proteins, an outer layer called P17 and an inner layer called P24. Inside a viral core, there are two copies of single-stranded RNA, ssRNA, single-stranded RNA. They should be written in the form of small ss. Here it is in the notes. Here it has been typed or printed as capital SS. So make a correction, students, over here. You have to write single stranded in small s letters. Small ss RNA molecules and few molecules of enzyme reverse transcriptase. Here is the figure of this HIV virus. You can see that it is capsulated by an envelope, and it has the P17 and P32 integrase present in the internal core, that along with the P24 which are the we can say the which are present in the nucleocapsid, and these are the proteins. Then you can observe within the nucleocapsid internal core, there are the single stranded RNA, ssRNA. There is also the enzyme secreted within the nucleocapsid, that is the reverse transcriptase. The MHC protein, the mega histocompatibility complex proteins, are present on the envelope or on the external membrane. And the spikes, you can observe here that there are number of spikes, and these spikes, they have the glycoprotein 41 and glycoprotein 120 on the capsule of this HIV virus. Then attack on the immune system, HIV. Once introduced into the body, the HIV infects the helper T cells with high efficiency. To infect these cells, the virus binds specifically to the cell's CD4 molecules. However, HIV also infects some cell types that have low levels of the CD4, including the macrophages, monocytes, and the brain cells. Within the cell, RNA genome of virus is reverse transcribed into DNA. So the within the cell, the nucleocapsid of the HIV virus, the RNA genome of the virus, it is getting reverse transcribed into DNA, that is cDNA. For this, virus uses its enzyme reverse transcriptase. The product DNA is integrated into the host cell genome, and this product, that is the DNA which is formed after the reverse transcription of the RNA into DNA, this DNA, it gets, or it is integrated into the host cell genome. It gets integrated into the genetic material of the patient's body. So then with the help of the host cell machinery, HIV DNA direct synthesis of new virus particles takes place. So this DNA which is getting transcribed within the HIV within the HIV virus, it will get transcribed. The RNA, single stranded RNA will get transcribed into the circular DNA, and this circular DNA now enters into the host genome, cell's genome, thereby directly synthesizing or forming new virus particles.